Welcome! This is the third video in this series that explains the infrastructure procurement process in the public sector. This video is targeted at public sector entities procuring infrastructure works. It explains functionality as a criterion to evaluate tenders. The functionality test evaluates whether a bidder for a tender has the capabilities and capacities to execute the construction project or not. In other words, if the bidder has already met your eligibility criteria, functionality is the second round in the tender evaluation process. If they pass this test, the tenderer goes through to the third round, which is normally where price and triple BEE status are evaluated. Whether you will apply functionality as an evaluation criterion or not depends on what you said in your tender documents. As an organ of state procuring construction contractors, it is your responsibility to ensure that your tender documents clearly state up front that you will apply this evaluation criterion. Otherwise, it cannot be applied as an afterthought. When do you use functionality to evaluate tenders? Functionality is used to test the ability of a tenderer to deliver the project according to the specifications required. In other words, can the contractor do the job? There is no standard for functionality. It is unique to the specific project. Functionality may only be used for construction and engineering projects that are either complex or are specialist in nature. It cannot be used in simple, straightforward, or routine projects. The CIDB standard for uniformity in engineering and construction works contracts explains what is complex or specialist. In brief, in a complex or intricate project, the tasks or activities require a higher level of skill and more resources. And the inputs and outputs are not so well defined. Building the Gautrain is a complex project. In projects like this, there must be overseeing engineers on site at all times, overseeing different disciplines of work like electrical engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, etc. In a specialized project, the work requires considerable innovation, creativity, and expertise or skills. This is often work that has a downstream impact. Building a hospital is a good example. Because of the specialized equipment in the hospital, all electrical work has to be done by specialists and overseen by electrical engineers who can issue a compliancy certificate afterwards. They might even use smaller contractors to do much of the work and then oversee and certify. The value of a project does not determine whether a project is simple, complex, or specialized, and therefore cannot be used as a reason to apply functionality as a criterion for tender evaluation. The Bid Specification Committee must determine whether the construction works is simple, complex, or specialist. The contracting strategy can also determine if functionality is appropriate as a criterion. Our standard for uniformity defines the different types of contracting strategies that clients typically use. They are A. Design and build, where the appointed contractor designs a project based on a brief by the client. B. Develop and construct, where the contract is based on a scheme design prepared by the client and the contractor produces drawings and constructs it. And lastly, C. Designed by the employer, where the contractor undertakes the construction based on full designs issued by the client or a managing contractor, where the contractor provides consultation during the design stage and is responsible for planning and managing all post-contract activities. Lastly, be sure not to confuse functionality with quality. These are two different issues, but we will discuss quality in another video. For now, take the time to read and familiarize yourself with the CIDB standard for uniformity in engineering and construction works contracts to find out more about the use of functionality in the evaluation of tenders. If you need more clarity, you can also contact us. Be sure to watch the other videos in this series.